Hello everyone, I'm Steven. Today I will show you how to replace the motor wheel on a Blitzart electric skateboard. Tools that we need for this operation are backup bolts and nuts for skateboard, standard sized. You can find them either on Amazon or the skateboard shop. Different sizes of wrenches, screwdrivers, and a pair of scissors. A small container is always also suggested after you take off the nuts from the bolt, and you want to place the nuts in here so they don't roll around the table and you eventually lose them on the floor. So before we start, we want to make sure that the skateboard is placed on a level surface, and you do not want it to lay against the wall or on a tilted surface, because whenever the skateboard is really heavy, if it falls down or tilt over, you might hurt yourself. So be aware of that. So step 1, check the power. Make sure that the power of both the skateboard and the remote control are both off. This is the battery indication light of the skateboard. If it's blue, that means the battery is on. So you want to press once, and that will turn off the battery of the skateboard. For the remote, the power switch is on the side. Switch the power off, so this indication light will not be lighted up. Now, you will want to unscrew the nuts from the battery case using a smaller size wrench. Once the nuts become loose enough, you can use your hand to unscrew it. Remember to place the nut in a small container so you won't lose it. Just for your information, this is an old skateboard, so many of the parts are rusted, and I might lost some bolts. So this is just example demonstration of how you change the motor wheel. This nut is specifically tricky to take off, so you want to open the charge portal so you have enough space to work around this one. Now, with all the bolts and nuts dismembered from the battery case, we may now lift the battery case. Excuse me. There's one more bolt that we need to take off, which is the one that holds the motor wheel in place. Right here. This one need to go before we can open the battery case. Now, with that cap taken off from the motor wheel, we can lift up the battery case carefully. Turn it around and place it on the skateboard. Now you can see this is the battery case, the battery, lithium-ion battery, and this is the circuit board. Right here, this is the cable that connects the battery to the circuit board, and these three wires are from the motor wheel and connected to the circuit board. First of all, we want to unscrew this cap that holds the wires in place. There's also a cap on both sides of the case. You want to loosen them. Now, the cap of the inside, on the inside is out, and you can drag the wire outside and lift it up. Now the wire is free to move. Remember, this is a rubber spacer that will hold the connection part to the side of the battery case. Do not lose this rubber spacer. Now, we will dismount the wheel from the shaft. And now we can see there are 1, 2, 3, and 4. A total of 4 sets of wires are connected to the circuit board. We want to take off each of them. First, we'll start with these clamps. Remember the color. The blue wire of the motor will go to the green wire of the circuit board. The green wire of the motor will go to the blue wire of the circuit board. These two colors are exactly the opposite. Remember that. The yellow wire of the motor goes to the yellow wire of the circuit board, and this very colorful wire will go to the port. So now we will take them apart. We'll disconnect the clamps. Just have to pull really hard on them. Sometimes they get stuck. And here you go, you see. And sometimes there are a rubber wrap on the clamps. They are made to protect the connection and also to insulate the clamp from touching the circuit board. So this way it won't cause a short circuit, such as this one. The rubber wrap here, here. So I will proceed to disconnect the rest of the clamps by removing or slide the rubber wrap on the side and unplug the wires from each other. Now, all of the wires are disconnected, and we will disconnect the final set of wire from the port of the circuit board. You also only have to pull a little hard on it for it to come out. There's not a little trick. Now, you put the old motor to the side and grab the new motor and do the exact same thing. You hook the wires back on to the circuit. Remember, blue to green, green to blue, yellow to yellow, and the colorful wires goes to the port. 3 wires are clamped on. We are going to slide the rubber wrap back on, so this way the clamp will be protected. Here you go. Lastly, I connect this one to the port. Use some force to clip it in. Now we're all set. The new motor is connected to the circuit board. Now, we will organize the wires inside and get ready to restrain the wires onto the battery case. Remember, the rubber spacer is in between the cap and the battery case. And we screw the cap inside back on. Now the outside cap. It's harder to screw, then we'll use the tool to help. Here we go. Now, with the motor wire cap restraint screwed tightly, we can slide the motor wheel back on the shaft. And we will find the cap from the container and screw it back on to secure the motor wheel. Make sure all of them are fastened tightly. You don't want your skateboard to dismember when you're riding 20 miles an hour. Make sure to check all the nuts are on there tightly. Now manage the wires so they can stay in this very space provided above the circuit board, and flip the battery case onto its original position. Make sure the bolts locked in the bolt holes on the battery case. Now, we will either use our old nuts or caps that we taken down before, or we could use a new one that we ordered online. Make sure all the bolts and nuts are screwed tightly. Make sure. Now the other side. Now, all the steps are finished for replacing the motor wheel. Now you may start the skateboard on your remote to test out if the new motor wheel will run expectedly. If it doesn't, I will suggest a few reasons. Oh, before doing that, you may use a strap that comes with the ordered new motor wheel to strap the wire with the shaft so it doesn't come loose, just like this. and you tighten the strap so the wire will not come loose. And you can use a scissor to cut off the extra part so it won't bother you when you're riding. Now, after you replace the motor wheel correctly and you have powered on your skateboard and tried it with your remote and it still doesn't work, I would suggest that it is either there's few options or a few possibility of failure. That one, the circuit board has malfunctioned and you probably need to order a new circuit board and replace the old one. Two, could be that the remote is broken, you need to get a new remote. And thirdly, the connection between the skateboard and the remote is bad. You probably need to follow the original instruction that came with the skateboard to test out or reset the connection between the two. So, and here is how you replace a motor wheel on a Blitzart electric skateboard. Thank you for watching.